Well, happy Monday, everyone. How's it going? Let's see, we got Slim, Brian, Queen, Biblical, Ivan, Pray and Trade. How's it going? All right, so it looks like the move down was around 11:30 or so. I was off the charts at that moment, but hopefully some of you were able to catch that short out of the bearish fair value gap. Trying to see where the breaker was created. There we go. 1 minute. Look and see if the 5 minute looked a little better. Good to see it's the same range. Stick to 5 minutes since we also have 5 minute bullish set up that sent price higher this morning. All right, so the 5 minute bullish breaker, which some of you may be wondering about, is the old one from Friday, if I'm not mistaken. This one here, 11:15, 11:20, 11:25, that area. Yep. I guess I could have, if I wanted to, I could have actually not used that one. It would have been about the same range. I could have used like 12:25 until 13:10. Can use that range as well, since that was really the last up move before the push lower. Right? Because this one here, push lower, didn't confirm before the confirmation. It broke this low over here. However, it broke the low, but I'm looking for a closure. Okay, we did get a closure below here. So yeah, it's probably better to use that range right there. But either way we look at it, we got a fair value gap created this morning, making the unicorn setup. We got a confirmation at 9:45. Then we got into the macro period, 9:50 to 10:10. We got a trade back in 9:50 and 9:55 candle, both of them. Hung around for about another 15 minutes before it really made its move, right 10:15 candle. And then it pushed higher into what eventually was a bearish setup created. But you can see price has been playing on both sides of the new week opening gap. So it opened up lower yesterday, immediately traded back up within a couple hours. Just kind of traded through a couple, three, four times. but we're hovering right around this area. So not a lot of range today, just back and forth. So if you're a scalper, this is probably a good move for you. Otherwise, it looks like we're 200-point range, high to low. So we'll see if this pushes back up and we end up in another situation like this. So far, we are getting quite a push on this current candle. The last candle that closed out a macro trade into the breaker once again. And we know that if we're inside of the breaker during the macro period, that we should be able to trust the setup. Go to the 1 minute. See it traded right back in 1306, 7, 8, 9. Macro close, and now we've been pushing higher. And we are about 30 handles above the breaker at the moment. I don't know, pray and trade. I'm not looking forward to it. Maybe. But right now there are no plans to start morning trades again. I see what you're saying. Yeah, during the launch hour, we did sweep on ES. We did sweep daily lows to create a new low. We did not get that on that stack. It just bounced out the wick for 9 o'clock on the hourly, but that's about it. All right, everyone. I do want to let you know we'll have an abbreviated session today. I have to leave at about 2:40. So we got about an hour and 25 minutes or so to see if it gives us a decent setup this afternoon. Looks like we're already getting something straight out of the gate from the early macro period after the 1 o'clock hour. All right, we already got a movement from 115 up to almost 155. So just under 40 handles delivered already. bottom. We got about 40 minutes to close out our 4-hour candle, and I'm staring at a doji right now. It's about 10 o'clock, so we started right around 121, 20,121. We first bought up, and we sold below, and now we right around that same starting position. Yes, Queen. I caught the long at the 950 macro, and I took up to about right at 20,200. I think it was 20,197 or so when I got up. Yeah, I took the long from here. Show. Yep. So we were over here when I got my. And that's one reason why I'm being cautious now. Otherwise, essentially, this is the same entry over here. Because it's trade lower to invalidate this 5-minute breaker. We need to trade below this point at 20,014. So during lunch, when we had price trade lower down to 20,030, it did not violate. Traded back higher. 5-minute big impulse candle here, closing above constant encroachment point. Then we went and reconfirmed. Trade back inside. Could have taken entry anywhere there during lunch or during the macro at 1250 to 110. But no, I didn't catch the short, and I didn't re-enter on this long here. I'm actually pretty satisfied with what I did this morning, and so I think I may just hold that until Wednesday. I really don't know what to expect tomorrow. I should probably go back and look and see how the last election day went. But as of right now, I'm not planning on hitting the button tomorrow. Yep. What about you, Queen? Did you catch anything? All right, there's 50 handles from the breaker there. Anyone who took a breaker entry, there's 50 handles up to 166, 166 and 3/4. Looks like a closure above here. So now I'm expecting there to be a retrace into this little fair value gap, or maybe halfway into this candle here, one or two. That's if it wants to continue higher, because we did just reject out of the 830 open here, which is also inside of the larger new week opening gap from start of Sunday night. Oh, okay. Oh, you got the short. Sweet. Oh, you already put it in there. Okay. Awesome. I have to check that out. Yeah, I also thought that we might go for the previous day low as well. I think I already took it off the list here, but here was so that was the London, maybe it's the London low from Friday. Okay. But yeah, my back testing has told me that if we're inside of a breaker and it's macro time and everything's holding and has been invalidated, that I should trust the setup. So that was the reason why I ended up going long. But I was a little nervous because we did just come out of this bearish area from above that I noticed at 5:30 in the morning. And so I was nervous that we might push up a little bit, hit up against the new week opening gap, and then flush. So I was holding on, hoping that that would happen. And fortunately, it didn't. So that was good. But immediately afterwards, that's why I'm glad I got out at 200, because I actually originally had my exit at like 232 or something. And obviously, we didn't make it to the midnight open. So glad I closed that early. 5 second breaker. I kick myself every time I do that too. Like if I ever see price action that clearly is telling me that, okay, the run that we're on is probably over, I'll close my trade and I'll be happy that I closed it where I should have. But then I'm thinking, man, I should have closed and then reopened on the other side. And that's something I have still yet to do. I've never done that properly, where I close a trade, where we just reach the pool of liquidity and then open up the opposite side to race to the other direction. Mm. Yeah, I noticed that we haven't taken highs in several days. And then we still got the lunch high from November 1st. I think it's November 1st. Right. And then we had Asia and London high overnight. Still not trade back to. So we got these values here. And so that was one reason why I had my TP up there. But I'm glad I stopped it at 200, because I mean it was a good entry. I got in at right 117 on most majority of my contracts. I did have one contract where I think I ended up taking a entry around 127 or something. All right, so now we've tapped into consequent encroachment of the fair value gap. Let's see if it resumes bullish pricing now. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I didn't have to find a new breaker because I just pulled the 5 minute from Friday, or maybe it was even last Thursday. I think it was Friday. Thursday, actually. Thursday at lunchtime. So I just used the same breaker because it worked over here as well on Friday. I tapped into it, didn't invalidate, confirmed it, pushed higher. So I just used the same one. And since it looked like it was still, it hadn't been invalidated and we were in the macros, so I just took it. Oh, okay. You too, Slam? Okay. Got it. So you were looking at, you said midnight open. Oh, okay. Around the same price. I bet it does pray and trade. One day, those are those goals. Be able to see it, anticipate it, and confidently execute that type of setup. Queen, who do you look towards for order flow tutorials? So far, the fair value gaps held up the last 7, 8 minutes now. So, oh, I didn't even check. So we do have our lunch levels now confirmed, which are low. Based on where we are and price structure, it looks like maybe we want the lunch high, but we do need to see it start moving in that direction. This is what it looks like on the 1 minute. So we see we had the 5-minute fair value gap, and price just kind of stuck there for a bit, not violating the lows. Consequent encroachment pretty much held price above. Let's see now if we can get through this new week open gap area into the lunch high at 20,166. $11.58 to noon. All right, Carlos, let me check on that for a second. And enter at 1307. Okay, nice. All right, Carlos, good deal. And so this was your unicorn setup right here. This was your fair value gap. Yep. And tap in was during the macro, so 1307, 8, 9. And this '09 candle is the one that ended the macro, so that was your last opportunity to get in on such a, wow, this ended up being a sniper move. Your drawdown was from 089 maximum down to 084, so you had a 5-point drawdown. 66. Okay. About 80 handle move. Okay. Charmaine trades. Okay. I'll check that out then. Day trading raw. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't, and yeah, you can go ahead and add anyone that you feel would help the community. Drop it in. Go ahead and add it to the Discord. Yeah, institutional order flow is something that everyone can benefit, I think, from, because I mean, most people's biggest question always is, what's their directional bias? I think if you can understand market structure and then institutional order flow, those two things together, I think, can really help not only explain that concept of, what's our bias, but also help you enter and maintain effective trading. Or in about 10 minutes, we'll be entering in our next macro, 1350 to 210 or 1350 to 1410. Anyone else take this 1 minute breaker here at around 1305 to 1310, the same one that Carlos was explaining? Yeah. Yep, me neither. But that was a good one, Carlos. Glad you were able to jump on that. You went long at 1337. Okay. Oh, just recently down at the fair value gap that's been holding. Oh, nice. Depending on where you went long on this candle, that could be a sweet entry. You see, we at least get the lunch highs at 166. And drag this over just so you're still familiar with that level. And that's at 183. So 17 handles above the lunch high. Oh, you already jumped out and sold. Nice. Okay. Adora Trades. I think I've seen something from Adora Trades. Uh-uh. Okay. Appreciate that, Quinn. Thank you very much. Biblical keep getting those 1 minute trades. Mm. Let's look for that lunch high. Now we're close to it, about 3 or 4 handles. And remember, above there is a bearish breaker at 183. Same one that sent price lower just before lunch, 11:30. There it is. Lunch high taken. Now we look for a reversal, but since we know we have this bearish breaker above us, it's reasonable to expect that price may want to tap into that. If it wants to reverse, that's an easy spot to do it. All right, I'm going to remove this lunch high marker at 166.75. True to 500 per day keeps the bills away. Yes, it does. 2 to 500 per day keeps the 9 to 5 away. Yes, Rich, go into the description of the video and you'll see a link. You're right, Biblical. I'm guilty of the same. Still putting in 40 hours a week on the charts. So, yeah, and to be honest with you, I mean, trading was intriguing to me in the beginning, mostly for the flexibility and freedom. It wasn't so much that I was, looking at rich or anything. It was just that I wanted to live a different life than I was living. But I did find something I was passionate about, and for whatever reason, I don't mind working. I just want to do the things that I want to do. So trading is it. So 8 hours. At some point, I will scale back. I do want to scale back for sure. I would love to finish up my trading every morning in the afternoon, just kind of back test or just do some tape reading and have all my trades happen in the morning because I find the most reliable trade seems to be between 9:45 and 10:30. Nope, nope, Sandy. This is my chair every morning, every day, all day. All right, macro incoming, everyone. See if we come and get another high. Yeah, it's slight, ever so slight bearish fair value gap right here. If this macro allows price to close above the new week opening gap. All right, so traded above the swing high, closed above it, traded right back in, found a fair value gap to balance. And we're looking to see if price now wants to take out this swing high. Let me see, biblical. Oh, you're working on your live personal. Excellent. Ask you about 10 before and after. Okay, so the macro. Do you notice when it hit the macro at minutes TL, what happens? Yeah. So if it taps into a breaker during the macro, then typically what it'll do is it'll move to whatever the next liquidity point is, and that's most likely going to be in the 50-point range or something close, 50, 60, 70. Now, if it keeps running for 100 or 200, I mean, that's I wouldn't say that's most macros will deliver that, but the macro usually will push price in whatever liquidity point is nearby. $21.88. Yep. What is this? This is a breaker block. It's a bearish breaker block. Rich, are you familiar with the breaker block setup? That's what ICT calls it. It may be called something else by others. He calls it a breaker block, and it's essentially here on the 5-minute. Right? We push higher. We made a new high here, so you would expect price to trade lower, put in a higher low, and then move to a higher high, which it did. Higher high. Then you expect a higher low, but it didn't do that. It made a lower low. It traded below and closed below. So in that case, we have a reversal pattern known as the breaker or a failed order block. We got a high to low to a high to a lower low. When that happens, then you're looking for price to trade back into the breaker and push lower. And that happened on this next candle at 11.25. That would have been your entry. And then you see price fell from 21.80 all the way down to 20.030. About 150 handles there. So what's happening now is since it didn't get invalidated, I stretched it across, and we're now pushing back towards that same area. Similarly, we had a bullish version over here. Right? A low to high, put in the lower low down here, and then we closed above with a higher high. So from there, we would expect price to trade back in and go higher. In this case, it traded lower, traded below the breaker, but it didn't invalidate by closing below this point. So we just wait for it to break back higher. And when it closed above again, which took a while, I did it over here and it faked everyone out once again. And the one that actually delivered was this morning. So this was the entry I took earlier at around 950. Actually, take it back. I didn't take an entry out of this breaker. I took it out of the one above. Or did I? No. Okay, yeah, I did take it out of this one. Sorry. I did. Oh, that's what it is. This is the 1 minute. So this is, I traded on a different screen. So I have a 5 minute screen. This one is the 1 minute. Sorry. Sorry for the confusion, everyone. Took over here. This was my entry at 950 right here. I just was showing, sorry, I was showing you where this breaker started. It started on Thursday and it still hasn't been invalidated. So I stretched it all the way across. And here we are on Monday, still using the same breaker. So I took the bullish breaker here. It traded higher. I exited my trade and it ran into this fair value gap above. It created bearish breaker. Price shot lower. Traded back down to the bullish breaker where the original entry was at 10 this morning during lunch. Some people took this at 1 o'clock. It's now pushing higher. We'll probably run into bearish breaker again and we'll see if it holds this time. Invalidation of the bearish breaker would be trading above this point at 20,227, and it needs to close above there on the 5 minute. Sorry about the confusion on the explanation there. I got my days crossed. But that was a breaker that created on Thursday and was used this morning at 950. All right, I'll be right back. We're now at about a minute away from 2 o'clock. So anyone trading silver bullet, you're up next. And we still got another 10 minutes during this macro period, but I'll be right back. Hmm. You're right. You're right, Queen. You gave a nice one right at 1 o'clock. That that short at 11:30 looked good as well. The long at 10 or 10:05. Yeah, as much as I used to hate Mondays, I gotta admit, recently, at least the last 8 weeks that I can remember, Mondays seem to be about 75, 80% good. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's a different story, but Mondays seem to have been pretty clean recently, that as far as I can remember. Let's do something. So I want to add the 4 hour fair value gaps on the screen as well, since we don't have a 1 hour here, but I could see on the 4 hour, we got one right here, just below us, right where 5 minute fair value gap is. Okay. Traded above some of these short-term lows, closing. Nice strong close there. All right, now right back at the 8:30 open. So let's see if that's what's holding price back. Okay, hopefully that's better and easier for all of you. You can actually see what that FEG is instead of having me explain it to you. Hey, what's up, Mark? Good to see a push coming out of this fair value gap. Let's see where we close on this candle. Because we might be targeting this fair value gap. Notice on this run up, every 2 fair value gaps is retracement. All right, well now pull this fair value gap over and see if maybe that's where price is trading to. All right, so macro is now over. We spent the entire macro retracing and balancing price. For those of you who joined in late, I did announce earlier that today would be an abbreviated session. We would go until about 2:40, so we got about another half hour. $8:30 open is the equilibrium of that week. Damn. Nice. Nice, Rudo. All right. Just be careful. Tomorrow being election day. I wasn't trading during the last election, so I can't vouch for how volatile it's going to be. But just keep that in mind that tomorrow's presidential election, and things might be moving. For all I know, things might not do anything. It might just consolidate all day in a tight little range, waiting for to reopen at 1800 when early results are in, and then price starts to move. Day trading Rawls free course. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I do want to strengthen my knowledge on institutional order flow. You have to have 2 times the margin to be able to trade. After tomorrow, 5 p.m. Okay, got it. So overnight. the market's going to do some crazy things. So, okay, understood. That might be a exciting London session to trade, maybe. Drop down to 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, I started in February, March of 2021, so I was just afterwards. Which is sufficient for me, but they also have paid content for those need a little more help. Yeah, I'm sure the free content will be good enough for me since I've been at this for quite some time. Louis Trader? Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with Louis. Oh, okay. Mouse pad. Rich, poor, I would start, yeah, the 2022. Yeah, the 2022 mentorship is a good one to start with. So I would start with the 2022. And then I like the 23. I do like the 23. I'm not gonna bash the 23. I don't know anything about the 2024. But I'm also a fan of the 2016, 2017 private mentorship videos. I really like those. It's a lot because it's 12 months worth. So it'll take a lot of time to go through them, but I'm a big fan of those. But start with the 2022 and see if that makes sense to you and if you can understand and follow along. And on the 2022, you only need to really focus on the first 21 or 22 videos. After that, it's just him daily going over some examples of the concept, but teaching it um, with the technical details. That's only on the first 21, 22 videos. Keeps trading higher and lower to balance price. That's it. So it traded down, balance out this wick over here, traded higher to get that volume imbalance. Then we trade back lower, balance out this wick. What are we going to do now? Trade up into this at 166? Well, no, it's slowing down. So yeah, something has to give in this candle or the next one. It's gonna have to break that little trend there. Downward slope trend broke first. It, no, it didn't. Okay, so all right. So far since 2 o'clock, it looks like it just created a bunch of bearish volume imbalances to trade back into. Had a couple there, then one here, one here. We're currently at 62% retracement, 71% is down at 142. This is coming from the 130 low. So if we extend this down to like the 1 o'clock low, and we're approaching the 38%. You're just trading share. I will say just trading is easier. And mainly because you don't miss things, because you have your full attention only on the candles. But teaching is much more fun. I'm sorry, what's the CRT acronym? Yeah, you can really only recommend ICT to people that are going to be dedicated, because the way he teaches, he's not going to give you everything in one video, or he's not going to eliminate all the noise and just say and give you a checklist for things and say if you just focus on these, you're good. So people have to be willing to go through all this material, grab the pieces that they need to formulate their trading plan, and then go back and practice it all. So uh, yeah, you definitely need to make sure that someone's committed before you tell them to watch ICT. But what's CRT? What does that stand for? Real 1,000. Okay. Oh, candle range theory. Oh, appreciate it. price trade lower all the way through the 4-hour fair value gap, tapping just below on the 1 minute. And now we've seen a 20-point push to the upside into this bearish 1 minute fair value gap. Let's see how bearish this price range wants to be. I'm sorry, how bullish this price range wants to be. Let's see if first we can close above this 1 minute fair value gap. Remember, this whole lime green area is the new week opening gap. Visible by anyone except me. So there we go. All right, there's a new week opening gap, midpoint at 154. Where we had equal highs over here just about 6 or 7 minutes ago. And we also just reached that level once again. Okay, yeah, I've never looked at Bookmap. I wouldn't even know how to start. All right, Queen, we'll catch you later. Two a.m., 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Can't range there. Okay. Oh, sweet. Put it in the Discord and you get back. Okay. Appreciate you, Queen. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I got about another 5 minutes and I'll have to get off as well. So if you guys have any final questions or comments, throw it in the chat now. Okay, looks like we just might get trade back to the fair value gap. Glad we got a closure above most recent 2 candles. Tap that constant encroachment level a couple times. Let's see if we can trade above it. And if we can't, make our way back up to this bearish breaker. Oh, Rudo, appreciate that. Thanks a lot. I know there are a lot of people in the room that are a little more green or newer to trading than some of us. And I know when in the beginning, I wanted to find out as many people's sort of, not necessarily their strategy, but their operation plan on how they identify and enter trades. So appreciate you sharing that with everyone. we just found us another fair value gap here that was recently created at 1431. After this failure swing above here, as well as this one. We had two swing highs traded above. Go ahead and push up there. Larger fair value gap. Which one are you talking about, James? And which color? This one right here. This is the 4-hour. I have this one marked as the 5-minute. This is the 1 minute. So which one are you referring to? Gus, I usually use the 1-hour. So I drew in these temporary 1 minute and 5-minute just to make sure they held price, but I usually only use the 1-hour. I pulled the 4-hour in because I could see on the 4-hour chart that it was sitting right here, and I wanted to see if that was gonna be where price would be held. So I put those up here just for this session, just to monitor price as it's been printing in this area. You can see it stopped right over here, and then the same thing over here. But for the most part, I use 1-hours to frame up trades. Okay, so this lime green right here, James, if you're talking about this lime green, this is the new week opening gap. So I'll just take that indicator off. All right, so that's new week opening gap, if that's what you were referring to. This one here is a 4 hour. And these 1 minutes I drew in the green. The blue, all the blues are breaker blocks. So those are not fair value gaps. All breaker blocks are blues. Fair value gaps are green and red. You can see these have H1. In fact, let me change that as well. Put these on black so you can read it a little easier. In fact, I can take this 4 hour off if I want to. And then we're back down to the standard 1 hour fair value gaps. Standard deviation, I do. I use that mostly on a higher time frame when I'm looking for how far we can reach, because on the indices, we're always looking for all-time highs. So mostly that's what my standard deviations are used for, because I'm not a long trader. Like, I'm not looking for 200, 300, 400 handle moves. So a lot of times I'm not measuring them on a daily basis, but when I'm on the daily, I'm on the weekly, the 4 hour, I am looking at the standard deviations to see how high we can go when we break all-time highs. Yep, we are in a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. You're right. You're right about that. And at the lower end of that fair value gap is the bullish breaker, which is, as it trades lower, then it just propels price higher. So the lower end of that is down here, it pushes in, and then we push higher again. However, earlier today, we did hit a bearish breaker that we created on the 5-minute, and that sent price lower at around 11:30. So I have that marked out since it wasn't invalidated. As we're marching higher, we're going to run right back into it again, and we're supported by a lot of bearish P arrays above from last week that we traded lower and didn't return to. So, but everyone, as I mentioned, I do have to run today. I do have an appointment I need to be to, so I can't continue throughout the session. I will be back tomorrow at the same time, so hope to see you all there. Hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you click that thumbs up. And if you have not already, make sure you subscribe. I hope to see you at a future session. So safe trading for the rest of the day, all, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.